and we are back again. The second and fourth Mondays of every month, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. Central time, 6:30 on the Pacific time zone, and 4:30 in Hawaii. With that being said, from the parts unknown, this is your boy Clem and your boy Kaiser, my guy. What you got to say this week, or what you saying this week?
Well, I know. First of all, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans that's out there.
Yes, sir.
Even even those in the fight game who might be veterans and things like that. I know
Yep,
Fight 81 Adam, friend of the show, definitely
definitely,
a salute
definitely.
for everything that you've done. The one thing I will say about Veterans Day that I like. So my dad. My father is retired from the military as well, but he
Right,
really wants us to stress Memorial Day. And I was trying to tell him, I said, sir, Memorial Day is for the dead. Veterans Day is for the living, you know.
exactly,
And but
exactly.
the one thing I've noticed more and more is as the years are going on, it seems like Veterans Day has been picking up more and more steam. That people start
Correct,
realizing, like, look, we need to honor these people now before they end up on the memorial side. Memorial Day is after you gone. Your
correct,
veterans is while you still here. So I'm
exactly.
glad to see
People are starting to open their eyes
what
and
and
start
Veterans Day.
giving recognition to these people who have been fighting. Some of these people have been fighting for years. We talk about World War I, World War II. We're talking about War of 1812. We talk about things like this. This is a long time ago, people. So it's time to recognize them on their day. So I'm glad they got their shine, at least
Yes,
on that particular day.
on Veterans Day.
With
Yes.
that being
So
said, I got news. As everybody knows, if you've been paying attention to Klaus Webb's post, which has been there for 3 days. We have a special guest, Miss Zia Faye, will be on the show. I actually did some research on her website to see what she's about, so I have an idea now.
yes. So we're looking forward to having her on the show a little bit later in about so 15, 20 minutes or so.
With that
Um,
being, yeah, go ahead.
I
With
guess
that being said,
we'll start with our
go ahead.
old business, new business. Um,
Actually,
quite a lot of activity today
bingo.
on Twitter. Now, this is just me. This is a public service announcement, as I would say for everyone. If you have something and you would love to break it on the show, you're welcome to come on the show and break it. Now, granted, we're going to try to do this. Then again, we all have lives. We all have stuff we ripping and running and doing. So sometimes, like even like this weekend coming into the show, like I would say, okay, I'm gonna reach out to our special guest today. I reached out to her on Wednesday just to make sure she was still good. All right, cool. And then it was just like today, I was like, okay, trying to get stuff done with work and all of that. And I was just looking through the feed just to see over the weekend anything major happen, anything, last minute. Because we've had a couple of things. It just so happened to be on the show day. It pops up. I don't
Yep.
know, something that's a serendipitous or some of a subterfuge or something like, oh, we put it out there. Hopefully they'll talk about it. And something you want us bring in the dress on the show, let us know. Even better yet, we open invite to you to come on the show and talk about it. So since we're here anyway,
You got that right. Guess I did reach out to one person. Now that you brought that up, I did reach out to one person. So we'll see what happens. Like you said, we're doing due diligence here. So we'll see.
but what do you see that got you that tickled your fancy?
Okay, so basically, for people who don't know, if you don't know about FetLife, there's more cat fighters on that one than they do on X, aka Twitter. There's some of them on Twitter. So they had I guess, a meeting, a North Myrtle Beach meeting of cat fights and wrestling over the weekend. So because our guy Adam was there, his wife was there, and if you look at his page, his Twitter feeds, there were certain matches that happened. I will say that Sarah Brooke was there, Bella Lux was there, so that was the first. Those are the first two. So you're welcome, people. And then there were some new people that were on the scene that we don't know publicly, but they've been in private fightings. The Christine Marie's of the world, the ladies named Tough Tushies, the cat wrestles. All these people are on FetLife. So if you look at FetLife and you search their words, you will see their pictures. They're involved in action, cat fights, private wrestling, and they do it. And people don't understand private cat fights are for you know they're not meant to be filmed. I hate to be bearer of bad news for all you public catfighters, but they're mainly used to be private. So there's a difference between private catfighting and real catfighting. I mean, film catfighting, two different things.
That would be interesting. That would be something I would love to have. Basically, anybody who's in it that wanted to get on and talk about what is the differences of the two, because you know, I mean, we're gonna start with the pay scale because I know you have some ladies that's in it for the money, and then some that really like to do it and they enjoy
Yep,
doing it, but they're not looking to get paid or what. I would just like to learn more about it, just because
me
it's like
too.
it's yeah. So I will say this though: the few that I have met that does just the private side of it, the few I met, they're really passionate about it. Like this is what they really want to do,
Yep,
and I guess because me being a video guy, I'm a big video guy. It just because I like, I guess because everything I've done in sports, I've done with video, so it's
videos.
almost kind of like tracing back and being able. The easiest way to teach correction is being able to show yourself doing it. And
Correct.
then you realize, oh, you know, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have did that. And it's like if you're there and there's no record of it, sometimes I mean, you can do it. You can just say, "Hey," mentally. But now I'm hoping that the fighter remember, what they did when they did. Because sometimes you can just be so mindless. You just going, 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 and then by the time
Okay,
you
let
realize
me
it,
yeah,
it's too late.
let me correct myself. These fighters are fighting. They're on video, but they're not releasing it to the public. Let's put it that way. Let me correct myself.
Okay, okay, yeah. Because to me, I just like having the video from a safety standpoint, from a security standpoint. So let's say somebody accidentally got hit with a black eye or something, they don't go off, and then 2 hours later, you know, you got the police
Yeah.
coming in and talking about, hey, we got a domestic violence incident. Like, no, this was, something that was agreed to by both people and just the other. You see what I'm saying? It just
Yep.
that kind of keeps all of that out. Not just for me. It's more, you know,
And yeah,
is it?
yeah, go ahead. And from what I can tell in these pictures, because they're pictures, because basically, yeah, the private thing, they basically, basically, I think from what my understanding of the private thing is basically they have matches that the ladies agree on, like regular cat fighters. They have the video, but of course, they don't release it to the public. But of course, they show it to their wives to say, okay, this is what you need to work on. This is what you can improve on, yada yada yada, like you would do, but it's not to the public, which I don't blame them because as you know, if you're gonna do that, you got to have each other's consent. You just can't be like,
Right,
oh, I
right,
want to
right,
sell
right.
this in such and such. And most of the women there are not. Most of them are doing it for fun, like you said. But I like to know more about this also, like you. So if y'all are out there, get in contact with him, Claus, or myself, and we want to learn more about this. We want to know the nuances of this.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I'm sure there's a lot more nuances. I'm sure there's more things that's similar than not, but
correct.
is nuance because the me I would this is just me just off of first read, just the ignorant tip, but
Huh?
I would think the fundamental difference is I'm doing this to get paid versus I'm doing this for fun. So
Correct.
I don't know if that changes the intensity level any,
Mm,
because if this is something I really enjoy doing, I would think the passion would just kick in a little bit stronger than it would be
agree.
if you're just, you know, uh, I, I don't, because if you're going to spend time doing this, and especially if you're not doing it to get paid or whatever, if you're just doing it because you truly enjoy it, I would think the passion, excuse me,
Go
would
ahead.
be, I won't say would be strong or not. You got some people that be like, okay, they'll play around, but then if money's on the line, oh, they'll be like, all right, well, I'm bringing the fury. You should be bringing the fury anyway. It just that just be that's a soapbox.
Like Klaus Webb said today on show day, as he said, a lot of activity going on in Twitter, aka X now. Because yes, guess who reappeared again? Valor Catfights reappeared again, and she had news.
Yes,
Go ahead. And the news
Yeah.
is that she has now she somehow got back Roxy Hart for people who don't know. I guess she's interested in doing catfights and
AKA
doing her own thing,
what was it? AKA Shandy B, AKA something else
aka
before that.
Chandy, yeah, aka Chandy B, Roxy Hart, aka Chandy B. But anyways, according to what I read out of that, it looks like she's trying to, I guess Roxy Hart's trying to come back. I guess
Well,
trying.
I
I don't
didn't
know.
see that. All I saw was the posting of supposedly they're doing they did a butt fight
Yeah, but
for.
that was before the butt fight. The butt fight part was recent. There was a post under that say that
Oh,
she's
I
trying
didn't
to
see
get the
that.
support of fight fans. So there's that. I talk
Okay,
about
I didn't
Valor.
see that.
She's trying to get fight fans to see if she can get her back, and she wants to do her thing. As everybody knows, Roxy Hart wanted at one point wanted to do her own customs at some point. I don't know if that went through. I don't know what became of that, but we'll see. Stay tuned on that one. And this is
Okay.
Valor who broke this. So, and yes, and like Claus Webb said, Valor did do the videos, links to the butt fights if you're into that. I'm not, but issue his own.
I mean, it's because I remember there was. I've had some folks reach out to me um, about that, and it was just something that wasn't my cup of tea. And I guess there was a couple of times where it kind of happened in a match, but it was kind of like, what can we say? It was kind of accidental, and then it was
Hmm.
like, okay, I get it. So it's almost kind of like a test of strength. Because I'm
Right.
looking here, yeah, I see about the butt fights, the number. I'm looking. I don't see.
I think she said. I think she put. Did she put it
Oh,
on her Gumroad page? I know she has a Gumroad page on there.
okay, I see here. I see what you're talking about. Now I know there was another one. There was another one about a lady by the name of Christina Marie. You're right, right. Was she part of this weekend as well? Do you know? Or
Yep. Yeah, when it came to the north or the north Myrtle Beach thing, she was part of it. Yes, her picture. She has pictures on. She has a pic. I think if you go to her FetLife page, she
okay,
has pics of you know
okay.
they all
So
have pics on their thing.
okay, well, I'm glad then for her that she got into it because Christina Marie was one of those ones that we seen a few things on Fat Life, few things was on Twitter, and the
Yep.
fact that now you're stepping into the big leagues
Yep.
and that next level. So that's good, because I think if you want to do this, you want to be able at some point be able to fight the best or be able to compete against the best or the or whoever tops. You want to be able to do that.
I
So
got even more news. This is really under the news of relevance. So I actually reached out to a couple people, more people. So for people who know Kira or Shakira as she's by if you, I know she hasn't done anything. I reached out to see what's the deal with her, and she said she's been ready to fight people. She just having problems finding people to match up with. I don't know if that's news or not, but that's what I have been told. So
mhm.
we'll see.
Yeah, 'cause she's not a small girl. She's not a small girl.
She's a tall girl too. What she 5'10"? She like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, she's not small. But I mean, I'm just throw it out there. I
I
know
reached
Little
out.
Rampage is always looking for a fight, but yeah, it's just.
I don't think
But
that would not be a good fight. No disrespect to Rampage. I know she's tall, but nah.
I would say that Shakira, given the last match she had,
Yeah,
that was that was something else. I
that was her best performance. It's not even close.
clearly by far. I mean, it is a performance. The performance was so well done. Is almost at a point where it might actually spook people, not the fighter. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like when
yeah.
you beat someone like she beat Sonny.
Oof.
That's almost one of the ones where it's like there may be a chance you might not. I mean, I'm sure at some point somebody will come rolling in,
Bro,
but
man.
it's going to be rough for a minute because nobody's going to want no parts of that. Not all of that.
Not after
That
that.
was
Not after that domination. That
no.
she pretty much retired Sonny after that fight. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
I mean, pretty much,
Let's be serious. She retired her.
pretty much, pretty
Serious.
much.
End of story. And
So
I got one more news article and Queen Gia Love. So I kind of asked her, so because as everybody knows, she's been pushing that fight with her in Paris for time, and all of us, I mean, for time. When I say for time, before she fought Valor, we all know this, and all of us were, we don't know. So I asked her again, is there any interest in that happening in 2024? I asked people, do y'all want to see this? She answered me, I guess she wants to do it. So she wants to fight Paris. Let's see what happens next year, not this year. Next year, we'll see.
listen, I will say this. I think, and some of this stuff, man. I think timing is a lot of this.
Correct. My
Paris
perspective has
have had.
changed.
The, if you look at Paris's last fight out and Gia's last fight out, how Gia coming back the way she fought Valor, very impressive performance.
Very.
Paris's performances against Vika, against Rampage, basically everybody post um, Sexy Wife has been good. So it's to the point. I think if they was to try to push for it again in the spring, I could see that maybe March or so.
I
Wait
agree.
till folks get tax return money in or something like that, March, April.
I agree.
I could
I
see
agree
where
with you.
that could be a legit fight to where people like now let's go ahead and do this. But um yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we would like to bring on I think is that all you have for the old business? That's pretty much it,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
We
that's it. That's it. I don't got
pretty
nothing
much it.
more. That's it.
And our special guest has arrived, so we want to get her on quickly because I know the folks here tonight is not watching for us. But one more thing I do want to bring
Nah, they
up.
came to see her, not us.
Right, they
We're
came to
done
see
talking.
her. They didn't come to see us. Um, it's. I want to say there was something else that I took that I said I would mention on the show.
Go ahead, do it now while
Um,
you can.
right. I'm trying to pull up the post. Ew. Oh, Caddy Fights. Caddy Fights released a new supper video where the
They
girl looked
did.
like she's wearing a baklava. You know,
Correct.
so, well, hey, for some folks, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. So,
Go ahead.
salute to him. But, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to bring on our special guest, Miss Ziva Faye.
Hello. Thank you for
Welcome
having
to the
me.
show, Ziva. Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you. Hello. How
Yeah,
is
Okay,
everyone?
we're
yes,
good. We're good. How are you tonight?
Good, good. Thank you.
Okay, I
yes.
got a first question right off the jump. I'm not even gonna waste any time. So, when it comes to this session wrestling thing, I'm gonna go ahead and start with wrestling first before I get into cockfighting. So, how'd you get into session wrestling?
I got into session wrestling by I just started fetish modeling for wrestling companies because I have a black belt and other models were doing session wrestling, and I was like, "What is this? Tell me about it." And I feel like I learn a little bit every time I do a photo shoot, video shoot, and I'm very inquisitive, and I asked and then looked it up, and I was like, this is seems like it's cool and good money, and it just kind of kept going from there.
Mm. And I would say with session wrestling, what is your favorite moves or what is your favorite things to do in the session?
When it's like specifically wrestling, I love the people's elbow. Come on, that one's just so fun. I'm I'm really good at head scissoring. So I do a lot of head scissoring typically because my strength is in my thighs and legs more than my arms. And I think most people know that. So they're booking for the, Ziva leg experience. Whether that's like head scissoring, figure four. I do a lot of like ball busting because of my black belt, you know? So yeah. I end up doing a lot of those sessions. Yeah. So
Yeah, for people who don't know what ball busting is, a bunch of guys that want to just invite pain to the region I'm not going to talk about. Let's move on with that.
Yeah. So that is what
Anyways,
it is.
so the Finnish model industry. Sorry. So what have you learned? I know you've been in it for a while, but what have you learned? Profile wise. What am I trying to
Uh,
say?
oh my gosh, I've learned a lot from being a fetish model. I actually learned a lot about how to run a business, ironically. So like spreadsheet, how to invoice, how to charge people, like business communication through like the sessions or the custom like email to keep it professional. Like spreadsheets to send to the clients, like for my custom clients, so they know like I didn't forget about you, or this is kind of where your custom is like at, and it's editing. I have like a little legend that's like, okay, it's editing, it's filmed, it's I give you a refund, that kind of stuff. It's delayed. And then a lot more I've learned a lot more street smarts, like on the not kind of business end, like how to talk to people. Like I always was good talking to people because I was a waitress and a bartender before I did this, but how to talk to people, yeah, even like more, and like ask for rides or like negotiate, like, hey, I'll give you 15 extra minutes of the photo shoot if you can drive me to the airport, like kind of like bargaining, negotiation, like business, like that's those in-person skills like that. Yeah. Business savvy things, kind of like how to travel better, how to pack better, um like being I know that sounds silly, but even being professional with like your packing and your stuff like that can really, really help. How to stay organized between like the clothes, the props, the shoes, and then like the paper end with like the videos, which ones did I upload, what titles go to which video, like with their little, video has like a name that's like B00183992, and you're like, okay, my little spreadsheet, like what title is going to be that when I'm ready to upload. Just like a lot of different things that I've learned between kind of the front end and the like back end or like business end of it. So, and that's probably not even everything. That's probably not
Right.
even,
You sound
I
like a true producer indeed.
yeah, like I call him a modelographer, actually, like a model photographer, because it's like I'm a producer, but I'm also like a hireable model, and that's not what every producer is.
True.
So yeah, it's kind of like yeah, it's almost like the square, rectangle, rectangle, square thing. A model could be a producer, but a producer's
Or
not a model. Like, yeah.
in the
So
words of Cre- I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
In the
I've learned
words
a
of
lot.
Crayola, you would be the blue green or the green blue, depending on the day.
There you go. Yeah.
I love that analogy.
Versatile.
You got a question? I know you're on some. You're on. You're
the,
happy. So
the
go
fact
ahead.
that she going in the producer side of the, I call it the dark side of the,
The
is
dark side, a
yes,
little
you
bit,
yes, you pull behind the curtain.
a little
Um,
bit. I even tried hiring models a little bit, and I was like, I'm gonna go to trade or customs for a bit because this is a bit much. So yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God, you're speaking my language. As I like to call it, talent management.
yeah,
Ah,
yes.
let me have somebody else deal with talent management. Let me just come, shoot, edit, post. I'm good. Talent management, let somebody do how they gonna get back and forth to the airport. Do they have dietary needs? Making sure they have, the snacks and waters, stuff on the riders. Making sure all the sizing of the clothes fit, all that. All
It's a
that is
lot.
talent. That's talent management. That has nothing
Mhm.
to do with shooting at all, or the editing or the creative process. That's just yeah. So,
Let's get
oh,
them there and getting them out, basically.
now how does you being a model? How do you think it helps you on the? I know there's an advantage, inherent advantage. Does it make you more sympathetic, or does it give you special insights? The stuff that once you went from the model side to the production side.
Well, I will say that movies got ruined a little bit when I went to the production side, because I can see like now that I know a little more about editing and production and like movie magic, I can kind of see it when I watch TV or a movie, and I'm like, I see what they did there. So it kind of ruined TV a little bit, but also I'm like, oh, and TV's not. I understand TV's not real, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but also I would say both. It makes me sympathetic in certain ways, just like almost to the same way as where I'm very, as a customer now, when I go out to eat it as a restaurant, because I used to be a waitress and a bartender, I'm very
Mm.
sympathetic to certain things when I can like see and assess the situation, but then I'm not to other things. I'm like, no, I can clearly see they're just kind of, and it's kind of similar where I'll be very sympathetic to like, oh, your story, okay, okay. But then I'm like, okay, that's your third grandma that's died. So just joke, like you're not gonna give you slack anymore about it, or you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that.
Oh my God,
Oh,
yes.
okay, so yeah, so okay, you recently, I know it's not released yet, but you recently did something for our guy, friend of the show, Mr. Sweet Fights. He know himself, big
Yeah,
man.
I didn't
I'm
think
gonna
it
call
was
him the big
released
man.
yet.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, and I know it's not released yet, but I'm
We
just
had
giving him
hoped
some
they'd been
pointers.
released by now. By the time you came on the show, I thought, oh yeah, it'd be released. Not
Yeah, I
yet,
know it's not
but
released yet,
not
but
yet.
but
So,
I know this was your first real catfight experience because you've been talking about this for a while. I know
Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you the results, but I want you to describe your experience
I
from
loved
start to
it.
finish.
It was very intense. I didn't really know what to expect. I'm I didn't get that injured, surprisingly, because he did a very good job. I felt like matching us in weight class, height class, skill class. I
Yep.
mean, me and that girl were also like, um when was it? I think it was like was it beginning of September? You guys know it was a few months ago, so it was still really hot out.
Yeah.
So even though it was a hotel, we were sweating. I mean, me and that other girl were just dripping sweat because we were both giving it our all. Because I think it was both of our first fights. I,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
yeah, I was like, I don't want to misspeak, or maybe it was, if it wasn't her first, she was new to it too. We actually were ending up getting along, and he was like, I don't like that. I don't want you to get along. And we both were kind of like, okay, let's not get along. Like, but I felt like we were very, I know, we were very like, sport, like, because I come from a taekwondo background, like it was a very like sportsman-like fight because we
Correct.
were getting along. Like it was very like honorable. Um, yeah, like I felt like it was like a very honorable fight. I felt very evenly matched. I felt like we both weren't trying to like pull any shit, with each other. We both were kind of, I actually am probably the one that broke the rules, if I will admit, if either one of us broke rules, cuz he was like no striking or something like that, and there was one point where I was like oops, and I my natural instinct is to kick. Um we did have like these pantyhose with attached garters and thongs on,
Uh-huh.
and by the end of it we did not. um she got me really good with those garters and undies. There was one point where it like wrapped around my hair, the panty, and I was like, fuck, my hair's gonna rip, like all of it, all of my hair's gonna rip. And she got a pretty good clump, you know so, but there's a lot to spare, thank God. Thank God.
well, you survived the encounter.
You
Hello.
Yeah,
survived the
I
encounter.
survived. I actually, yeah, I did pretty okay. I'm actually kind of beat up right now from like ball busting and rollerblading. So that I was pretty good. I had a few like scritches and scratches, and not even that bad a bruise because I took an arnica pill before we did the fight. So,
Oh,
um,
good. She answered our question. Your number one question, Claus. Well, you always ask. Oh, yeah, your number one question. So, if you were to do a second fight, a cat fight, he's gonna ask this, not me. I'm just getting you a setup. Go ahead, Claus. Well, your
No,
number one
you already
question.
done started. What? How
I
you
didn't want
gonna
to.
half
I,
ask the
I
question?
started, but I didn't want to finish it because it's your line. I just want to start it and just kept myself quiet. Anyways, okay, okay. Let
Normally,
me
the
finish.
question I ask is, what have you learned from the first one that you're looking to take into your next one that you do?
well, I definitely would be interested in the striking one because there was like levels and like there was like tier 1, 2, and 3 for how rough the match was. And since it
Right.
was my first one, it was like tier 1, which was like the not striking, not not the roughest one.
Okay.
I think I want to try level 2, not go straight to from 1 to 3. I want to try level 2 next. Yeah.
Yeah, baby steps. Baby steps.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Level
Yep.
2. Okay.
I'm the same way with my ladies. There's certain ones I was like, we're not doing that. Like you have to do at least 2 or 3 of these before I even feel comfortable even letting you go all the way on the deep end of the pool. Because no.
I think
I
I would
agree
do
with you.
maybe one more one, or I would want to do another 1 or 2 if I came back, and I would love to come back. I had a lot of fun. There was a point too when we were ripping off the panties with each other. I mean, we were ripping off those panties and garters, and we were like, I felt like I was in an Even Stevens movie because there was like, I I was like spinning around. She was like spinning me around by by the thong, and I was like, it was like I felt like, oh, I wish the camera could see from my point of view when I was like spinning, because obviously I see it from and I was just like, oh my god, this is like from a movie, like.
I'm surprised you didn't have. I'm surprised you didn't have a headache or concussion with all that spinning around. Seriously.
I didn't have a headache or concussion. They did a good job like lining it with pillows, and we also did a decent job of like we didn't really take breaks, but kind of took a breather in between the round, like a minute or two breather because we needed water. And me and her were heavy breathe. I mean, like animals. Like me and her were going. But I really felt like, again, it was very sportsmanship like match, like super evenly matched. Like we were just like giving it our all, like trying to kick each other's asses, and like it was a good match between like the ripping of the panties off to like grabbing each other's tits, because we both didn't really know how like naughty you could get, you know what I mean? And there's a few times where it was like, oh shit, girl, like fuck, you just, because like we were kind of like, you kind of transitioned from almost like one move to like grabbing the tit or something. It was like fuck, like yeah.
Well, for Sweet Fights, yeah. this if this is not the promo in your promo video,
Yeah.
we're promoting the fight. This is probably the best promotion I've seen anybody have for any fight they've been in.
Facts.
This is fact. This is an all
And this
time.
is impressive because fighters don't usually come in and tell us details like this.
And
Seriously, they don't.
the thing,
I
what
hope
is
this is okay.
no, it's fine. It's just
You're
that
fine.
most fighters don't have the presence of mind.
They do
I'm
not.
big into the mental aspect of doing what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because too often people just be like, okay, I'm just gonna fight and I'm just gonna throw hands, I'm just gonna do this. And not
No.
really think about what we're doing in the moment and like almost letting it slow down for you. Usually the
Exactly.
more seasoned fighters can do that because they've been in enough fights, they'll be like, okay. Kind of like Neo in the Matrix at the very end, where he's just fighting, he just like and just like turning to the side. And
So
it's like, okay, it
when
kind
it
of slows down for you.
releases, you'll actually see that, like, okay, I'm stancing a lot because I have that fighting background, and I'm like stancing and I'm stancing, and I keep like looking her up and down. The whole fight, I keep on like we're circling, and I keep like guarding myself, and I'm just like looking her up and down because I'm trying to look for like an opening. I'm trying to
Yep.
like get in her guard that whole time. I'm just like, okay, when can I just step and get in her guard? And then it was hard, man. She was doing the same. She was getting, but exactly. I
So
was just trying to
basically,
take it slow.
two experienced fighters. That's what this is. Two experienced fighters where you were looking for weaknesses and you couldn't find any because if your background in taekwondo or karate or whatever it is, so disciplines. So interesting.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
There.
I loved it.
Wow, this was
This
great
is
because
great.
when I
I can't
saw it, I
say
was
that.
like, I said, see if I did a cat fight. I thought,
Finally, I've been asking. I'm actually
Jesus.
been asking Sweet Fight for years, and I've been asking a few other people for years. So you guys can always put the name out. You can send them my email.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do more cat fights
Yes.
in the future.
Yes. So
Yeah.
She is
Okay,
now leveled
so
up
so
tonight.
now okay, so now we know Zia wants to actually well, at least you got your first fight out the way, so you at least know what to
Yeah.
expect for your next one.
The second one
Well,
is always the most fun because
The second
I
one's more
know
fun than the first.
that
The first one is nervousness.
first one
What
because
am I supposed to
so much
do?
stuff
All
is
that stuff.
going on, trying to
The
figure
good
out
news,
which way.
yeah, the good news for you is the second fight is going to slow down, as he said. It's going
Oh
to really
yeah,
slow down because you know what they're
yeah.
doing.
Yeah,
The
and the
second
first
one
one
compared
is
to
I
first.
really was just so glad that I felt like me and the girl were on like the same level of like we even like did a sportsmanship like cuz it's my taekwondo brain. I did the like thing to like,
Yep,
yeah.
like this is
yep,
a sports like let's fight, like let's go, like I'm ready, like not to just lunge at her, you know what I mean? Which I could, I guess, cuz that I guess is the rules, but I felt like
yep.
we were just very sportsmanlike with each other. Like, okay, boom. Now we go at each other, like
And oh, by the way,
yeah.
people, when she said the girl, she's referring to Rena. I'm just trying to make sure people don't get confused because such. So there's that. I have to clean that up. But anyways, continue that. So yeah, now that so at least now she knows that you can, you don't have to sportsmanship good, but now she knows you can be, within the rules. You can actually,
Yeah, like the tit grabbing and the cunt busting. I was like, oh, this is in the rules. Shit, okay, like fuck. Like we're
yeah,
allowed to do
no.
this.
A lot of girls are, like you say, a lot of girls are not used to that because that's, when you think of a catfight, you think about hair pulling, you talk about, MMA stuff nowadays because
The
that's what's
hair
become.
pull for me, in the future, I know that they're not gonna like it, but I wish I could. But I wish I wanted this braided because the hair pulling was. I got hair pulled. Let me say, I got hair pulled 2 good times. One with the panties wrapped around. Whoo, mama, that one got, and then one she got me good with like, she got me good. There's like a point I think I was on the ground, like on all fours, and she was kind of standing, and whoop. So I was like, but I got one hair pulled back. I did know I got one good hair pulled back. So,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
hopefully
it
we
was
can have her
great.
to come on the show and she can give us her
Yeah, we need to have her come on the show and give her side of the story. We know what your side of the story is.
side of
And oh,
it.
by
You
the way,
know.
people, when he finally decides to release a video, buy it. Go buy it when he
Right.
finally
Yeah, it
decides.
was
We will
great.
do.
Go buy it. I mean, it was such a great match. I really would love to come back. It was so much adrenaline that was pumping throughout the whole room between me and her. I mean, heavy breathing. I mean, we both drank like 2 water bottles, like really quick, you know what I mean? Just down them. Yeah, exactly. Just like, I mean, panties ripped. The match, we were naked, both naked at the end of the match, and like just really just on top of each other, just you know, um, trying to keep us on the mats. The ref, sweet fights the ref, like get back on the mats because we were,
Yep, yep,
yeah,
yep.
tussling off them. It
Yeah.
was really exhilarating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fans need to understand. It's hard to stay on the mats when you're going full force, people. I know producers are like, stay on the mats. It's not that easy, people,
it
because you just, it's a struggle. It's really a struggle
Yeah.
for dominance, as I like to call
If
it. That's what
it's
it
in the
is.
room, it will get hit.
is
Yeah, if
truly,
it's in the room, it'll hit. If it's the
It's
wall, it'll
it's,
get hit.
it's Chekhov's gun. It's Chekhov's
Yeah.
gun. If it's in the room, it'll get hit.
If a
yeah,
sofa's in the room, it'll get hit.
yeah. It was a
I'm just
challenge.
saying.
It was a challenge. But we were doing a good job of also because we were. I mean, it was really so evenly matched. So it was this constant game between the two of us of cat and mouse.
Yep.
So because we were getting off of it, the whichever one was kind of being the jobber was just like get up, try to get off and get back in our stance and like so we could pounce back on the other girl, just try pouncing, pouncing,
Mm.
pouncing, Yeah.
So for other producers that are interested in having Ziva, you're welcome. She
Yeah,
said herself. I have to
and
say it.
and you can reach her on X or
Yeah.
Twitter or whatever. Contact
There you
X
go.
Zero
Thank
Fan
you.
X,
on it.
Thank you.
formerly Twitter, whatever. There you
Appreciate
go.
that. Yeah. It was just I really would love to do another one next year. It was so much fun. And this is gonna sound really silly, but afterwards the fight, I walked across the street and got myself some boba tea. So I was very happy.
Because I was like, "What's your post match meal?" Because thankfully that tells me y'all ain't eat heavily before you start. Oh Lord, I know.
Oh, that's a pet peeve for him. That's
I
a pet
know.
peeve for him.
Yes, we know. We've had enough of the talent come through, and they tell us, "Can I eat before?" That's
No,
not
no.
gonna go over
Tell
No,
well.
because
fighters.
who?
A PSA no to the fighters. If you're gonna fight before a fight, eat 4 or 5 hours beforehand.
I
It
was
gives you
about to
time
say
to
before
think.
I got on the flight, before if I had to eat snack before I got on the flight, couldn't eat basically on or after, like, cause, yeah, yeah, you don't want it to come back up or anything. But then you can
Yeah.
eat pretty much a lot after because you burn a lot of calories.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We've seen a lot of people drink energy drinks, and that was a mass. That was a yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was a mistake too. So,
Don't do that,
what would
people.
you tell anybody that wants to get into it, or another, say you come across your travels another fetish girl that may be looking at either doing sexual wrestling or even more so cat fight? What would you, especially cat fight, what would you advise and what would you tell them?
Yep.
I think that I would tell them that make sure that they have a social media presence. Make social media with your alias. Like if they're starting from scratch, essentially, make sure you have a social media with an alias and start with some
Agree.
good pictures of yourself. Like even if you don't have any wrestling gear, just get a nice bra and panty and like do a good some
Like
pictures
flex.
like flexing or fight stance or just flexing or fight stance. Get yourself some photos like that with your and attach it to your alias or your profile, your social media. And honestly, that those are gonna be kind of like your very starter photos to make your like session girls or tell people on X that you'll do sessions. It kind of shows that you're like hot muscle fighter babe, kind of start yourself. You gotta have the photos to brand yourself like that, and then make sure you also have a booking email, like an email that almost like make sure it's not your kid, your childhood email or your work email, that it's like for booking. You know what I mean? Like booking session. Yeah. My email is literally bookingzivafaye@gmail.com because it's very very
Yes, it's very.
self-explanatory.
And you're not
Yeah.
the only one. You're not the only one that has a booking for an email address. A friend of the
A lot of
show has
girls
one
have
too.
like exactly exactly. A lot of girls have like mine's booking Ziva Faye. A lot of girls will be like or like making up this name like Stacy Malacy booking, or they'll put booking somewhere in the email or a dot or an underscore or some exactly. Yeah. So
We
Yeah.
have any
So
more questions, Claus, before we wrap it?
um I would say yeah. So I'm actually trying to put in the booking email. That way, anybody that's watching this, they won't. Because I put the X, but I do want to put the booking email. And I will
Yeah.
say, as in communicating with her, it was great because the booking email also had an auto reply that lets you know, hey, thank you for emailing me. I will be getting with you, you know, shortly. And I thought it was great. I really did thought it was great because I hadn't seen anything like that before.
Mhm.
Not from the standpoint of having that auto reply. And
Thank
going
you,
back to
because
what
it's
you said.
like thank you for messaging me, and it's really true. It's like I might get to you quickly, I might get to you in a couple days. Don't think I forgot about you, or please bump me because I'm traveling. So in the meantime, here's other places to reach me or stuff to see me at, and ta-da, like, so I really appreciate that because I try to make my stuff really organized and clear because this is my full-time shtick. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, especially in this industry world, it's important to have multiple contacts, multiple emails. So
Yep,
very
I
Yes.
agree.
important.
On that example, actually, this is my booking email, and this is how
Yeah.
like you reach me, you book me. But then I have an email that is Ziva Faye LLC. You don't have to plug that because that is how I have people send me my formal content. Like if we did a trade together, or like, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wrestle this girl, and you guys you're gonna film it, and we're all gonna share it, right? that's how you would send me the videos, that LLC video. Or like, okay, we're going to take some pictures with this photographer, So I have like my booking email, my content email. I have a personal email for my personal life. Yeah, it's
A
good to
place for everything and everything a place.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So just keep it organized.
Yes. Okay.
I got one
But
more question, but go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got
Go.
one more question. So you're talking. So you're talking about. So when you were wrestling, who have you worked with? Who have you worked with in this industry?
Just for wrestling?
Yeah, just for yeah.
I worked with a lot of producers. I might even leave people out by accident. I worked with Femme Wrestling Rooms, Sleeper Kid World, Hit the Mat,
Yep.
which is more boxing,
Yep.
STJ, in LA, which I've worked for Steel Kittens through them. I worked for Tilly McReese, which she
Yep.
has like
Friend of
some
the
Friend of the
show.
show.
fighting. Yeah, she's got like some fighting stuff on her store. I've worked for like Akira shows and Ivy Davenport, and I've done like some like wedgie fighting and stuff like that for them. Oh, I've worked for JR Productions in Chicago and done wrestling with him.
Yep.
More like beat down, but I've worked for MMA Domination. I know
Yep.
I'm gonna leave some people out, so I deeply apologize to those who do.
You're
I'm
gonna
just
be like,
spitfiring.
"Yeah, come on, man." But the better question is, who have you not worked with that you would
There
like
you
to work
go.
with?
Exactly. Who have
That'd
you
be
not?
maybe
Okay.
the better question. Or somebody you would have liked to fight that you may not have ever gotten the chance to fight or get in the ring with, or whatever.
There's a person I'd like to work with. I think her name is Alexandra Hamilton. I'd like to work with her.
Yep.
She's like the best jobber in the world or something like that. Um,
Right, that's in her title. Yes.
I
okay,
said
yeah.
title.
Then I'm talking about the right person. And there are some studios actually in like the Carolina regions, and that I'd like to work with. There are also some studios in like Ireland and the UK I would really like to work with. So I know um so I definitely actually want to do like in Canada. There's some studios in Canada. And surprisingly, like I've seen a few studios in like Ohio and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I just need to travel to right now. I think
Yeah.
what I need to do is travel to more places that I've never traveled before and take more recommendations for studios that because so you guys can always send me a list or recommendations because I I love reaching out to these producers and being like, hi, I'd love to work for you guys. Actually, somebody I would love to work with is I really deeply apologize if I butcher the name, but it's like Jezabella or something like that in LA. So
Okay.
she does a fighting studio.
Okay.
um yeah. So I just want to
Yeah.
continue my
Ziva
fighting.
Faye, International Woman of Mystery.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah. And my Clem, there was one other question I did not ask, and I would definitely be interested to hear your answer to this. So I had this whole thing going back and forth of trying to find out, is cat fighting a fetish with sport elements or a sport with fetish elements? So
Oh,
I'm intrigued to hear what your answer is on this.
So am I.
oh God. I guess I might have. Well,
Oh, it gets everybody the first time. They're like,
Every
yeah.
yeah, you
this
got
is my
I
all
feel
bone
like
right.
question.
I feel like I might even message you and be like, I've contemplated this, and since I have, I'm changing my answer. I feel like I might say it's a fetish with sport elements, just because. Okay, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's any official catfight leagues or you know what I mean,
No.
like okay.
That's what
So
it is.
yeah, I this is gonna sound very silly, but the way I knew first ever about catfighting was like from villainesses in cartoons fighting each other. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah, where they're like,
And you just see a ball of dust and whatever.
Yeah, and they're like fighting and punching each other, and then usually it's like Catwoman and Poison Ivy, or like two villainesses.
Okay.
Um, but I guess I would say it's the fetish with sport
Sports. Yeah.
elements.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because also when I think cat fight, I do think of not if there is any clothes that come to mind, it's very not much, and it's also very probably like, ooh, weird. Like you don't wear shiny, skimpy stuff like that, and like yeah, nipple twisting is not that's that's straight up fetishy, and that's like a big the cunt busting, the nipple twisting, the hair pulling.
Yeah.
Those aren't like regulation moves in any fight or sport, and that's like pretty much big aspects of the cat fight. So I would say, yeah, maybe the
Right.
fetish one with fight
Yeah.
sprinkle. Yeah.
I expect to get a email with the full the dossier where you change your mind to the sport. This okay. This is the part where I plug. We have this thing called the sidebar. What we do is we wrap up. We end the show. We have our guest stay on. We go in the sidebar. We talk off the record. I am going to tell you why I think it's the opposite with the
Okay.
sport
No, I'd love to
with
hear it.
fetishes.
I
Because everybody else on the show done heard me say this time and time again. So I thought I'm going to spare them on this episode of it. They can check the previous episodes of why I say I think it's the inverse. Although I see the argument for both. I don't think there's a wrong. It's just
you
to
just
me
have
at
the
the end
opposite
of the
view.
is how the fighters look at it. It's like because and I think it shows a lot of the mental machinations of what they go through as far as how they approach it because again, how do they think about it? And
Well,
more often they didn't never think about it off the top. It was like, oh, okay, well, this is why.
super valid, because probably I have such a different perspective because I'm fighting, grabbing the titties, trying not to bite the ass, and you're watching it. Like yeah, like as I was trying
I
really hard
love
not to bite that girl's ass, really hard.
yes. I love Zeno. All right, yeah. So Clem,
So
I'm
real
ready
and
to end the
so
show so
appreciative.
we can start
Okay.
because I was looking to make sure anybody had any text questions. I'm looking here. Yeah, so I think we pretty much got covered all the bases here. So I'm
All right.
ready
Go ahead.
to get the sidebar on and over with. Okay, and first and foremost, we like to thank our special guest, Ms. Ziva Faye. Again, you can contact her on at Ziva Faye on X, or if you would like to book her, you can contact her on contact Ziva Faye booking Ziva Faye at gmail.com. Yeah.
Please do, guys. I'm very available. I'm available for customs, bookings, and much more. And I have a free OnlyFans at ZivaFay XXX.
At Ziva Faye XXX.
All right.
Uh,
Right on point.
Clem?
Right on time. Yes, sir.
All right,
You
we're
know,
gonna start with
I'll go.
you.
I'll go ahead. Sorry, I'm going ahead. She's got me fascinated in her thing, so I'm not focused correctly. Anyways, Clem underscore AK, Clem underscore Kufa on IG, and Clem Kufa on X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever.
Yes, formerly known. And on Closeweb at X and on IG. I still have the IG. I was so close to cutting it this week just because I'm like, why do I still have this? It might be
Why?
gone by next week. We don't know by the next episode. If I can hold out, we got three more episodes before the year is out.
Three.
Maybe
Yeah.
I can hold out for till then. That way to start the problem. I don't know. We'll see.
Fuck
We'll see.
Instagram. Yeah.
And live from the parts unknown. we are we are here, Clement Call Show, every second and fourth Monday, starting 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 on the West Coast, 7:30 for our people in the Mountain Time Zone that always seem to get left out. Nobody cares about them, but we care about you. Even for the folks in Arizona who are now back in your normal time zone, Mountain,
Correct.
since y'all don't
Correct.
celebrate daylight
Correct.
savings time. So it's weird with the night cutting sooner here. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
used to that.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. Our time in 5:30 is like every time things go dark around 5:30. Don't remind me, man.
Yeah, it's not the
Central time.
same.
Don't remind me.
All right. Our
Okay. With
next
that being said, wait.
episode is the 27th, which would be the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Correct.
Yeah, so I got to finalize us a guest. Trying to figure out who's going to come through the next. So
Yeah, that might
just
be a struggle because, like you said, we talk about Thanksgiving. Some people might want to take extended Thanksgiving.
yeah,
So
yeah, Thanksgiving people just because they start
yeah,
shutting down for the year. So all right, well, we're gonna have Ziva on for our sidebar. So, ladies and gentlemen,
stick
we like
around.
to, yeah. So we'd like to thank everyone for coming on the regular broadcast. And until next time, peace.
Bye bye.
Nah,